Most believe Trump probably guilty of crime as his NYC trial comes to an end. CBS News poll finds as Donald Trump's trial in New York City nears closing arguments, most Americans believe he is guilty of a crime in this case. But they are less sure what the jury will do after it deliberates next week. Next breaking news: Trump says he believes Nikki Haley is going to be on our team in some form one day after former Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley said she would vote for former President Donald Trump in November. Trump addressed Haley's remarks Thursday after a rally in the Bronx, his first major campaign event in New York City since 2016. Next breaking news: judge in hush money trial rejects Trump request to sanction prosecutors. Manhattan prosecutors won't be penalized for a last-minute document dump that caused former President Donald Trump's hush money criminal trial to start later than scheduled, a judge ruled Thursday. Next breaking news: more than 100 feared dead in massive landslide in Papua New Guinea. Melbourne, Australia. More than 100 people are believed to have been killed Friday in a landslide that buried a village in a remote, mountainous part of Papua New Guinea, and an emergency response is underway, the South Pacific Island nation's leader and news media said. Next breaking news: Kabosu, internet sensation dog that inspired meme and Dogecoin, has died. Her owner says the Japanese dog whose photo inspired a generation of oddball online jokes and the $23 billion Dogecoin cryptocurrency beloved by Elon Musk died on Friday, her owner said. Next breaking news: Biden moves to designate Kenya as a major non-NATO U.S. ally. Washington, President Biden on Thursday announced his intent to designate Kenya as a major non-NATO U.S. ally, the first such designation for a sub-Saharan African country. Next breaking news: do you need a college degree to succeed? Here's what the data shows. College was once widely viewed as a pathway to success, but today only about 1 in 4 Americans say a bachelor's degree is necessary to secure a well-paying job, according to a new survey from the Pew Research Center. Next breaking news: Congressional Black Caucus condemns Speaker Johnson's treatment of Kenya's president. The Congressional Black Caucus shared a post online Wednesday condemning Speaker Mike Johnson for refusing to host Kenyan President William Ruto for a joint meeting of Congress, which is typically extended to other international leaders. Next breaking news: lawmakers, Hollywood collide at White House state dinner for Kenya's Ruto. Worlds collided at the White House as everyone, from former President Clinton and Hillary Clinton to actor Sean Penn, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, and Reading Rainbow's LeVar Burton, arrived for the state dinner for Kenya. Next breaking news: Supreme Court sides with South Carolina GOP over racial gerrymander case. The Supreme Court upheld a Republican-drawn congressional district in South Carolina on Thursday, reversing a lower court that had declared its boundaries an unconstitutional racial gerrymander. Next breaking news: severe storms may impact Chicago area. Memorial Day traffic. Chicago. Severe storms are approaching the Chicago area and may impact Memorial Day weekend travel for many. Next breaking news: 2024 Atlantic hurricane season outlook predicted to be active this year. The 2024 Atlantic hurricane season outlook has been released. This year's prediction is another active season. Next breaking news: record heat possible in South Florida over Memorial Day holiday weekend. Miami: record heat is possible this long holiday weekend. They say the Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial start of summer, and it will indeed feel like it across South Florida. Next breaking news: Ohio governor calls special session to pass legislation ensuring President Biden is on 2024 ballot. Columbus, Ohio. Ohio's Republican Gov. Mike DeWine said Thursday that he is calling a rare special session of the General Assembly next week to pass legislation ensuring that President Joe Biden is on the state's 2024 ballot. Next breaking news: Pennsylvania Democrat suffers minor stroke, will be out 6 weeks. Rep. Dwight Evans said Thursday he suffered a minor stroke and will be out of the Capitol for 6 weeks as he recovers. Next breaking news: Biden wins Idaho Democratic Presidential Caucuses. President Biden has won the Idaho Democratic Presidential Caucuses, according to a projection from Decision Desk HQ. Next breaking news: House races to sanction ICC over Israel war crimes allegations. Lawmakers in both parties are racing against the clock to secure a bipartisan bill to sanction International Criminal Court officials after they filed requests for arrest warrants for top Israeli leaders, hoping a forceful bipartisan response from Washington will deter the court's judges from ratifying the charges in the coming weeks. Next breaking news: Morning Report, Biden, Trump mix world woes and domestic politics. President Biden juggled international affairs with Kenyan President William Ruto at the White House on Thursday, with appreciation for Kenya's military help to Haiti in a defense of his decision not to send U.S. forces to the gang-ravaged Caribbean nation. The Ruto state visit is the first for a president of an African nation since 2008. Next breaking news: birth control is becoming a fierce new political battleground. Democrats are leaning into protecting birth control as part of their election year push on reproductive rights, looking to emphasize Republican efforts opposing protections many voters say they support. Next breaking news: NCAA signs off on deal that would change landscape of college sports, paying student athletes. A major change could be coming for college athletes. They may soon start getting paid. Next breaking news: Delaware and Tennessee to provide free diapers through Medicaid. Low-income parents and caregivers in Delaware and Tennessee are getting a lifeline to help curtail one of the most common medical conditions for babies, diaper rash. Both states have received federal approval to provide free diapers through their Medicaid programs, according to federal and state officials. Next breaking news: Colorado is first in nation to pass legislation tackling threat of AI bias in pivotal decisions. The first attempts to regulate artificial intelligence programs that play a hidden role in hiring, housing, and medical decisions for millions of Americans are facing pressure from all sides and floundering in state houses nationwide. Next breaking news: Louisiana legislature approves bill to classify abortion pills as controlled substances. Washington, the Louisiana Senate passed a bill Thursday that would classify the drugs used in medication abortions as controlled substances, criminalizing possession of the drugs without a prescription. It now heads to the governor for his signature. Next breaking news: home prices reach record high of $387,600, putting damper on spring season. The cost of buying a house hit new record highs this month, making homeownership an even more daunting task for the typical American. Next breaking news: flags outside of Alito's houses spark political backlash as Supreme Court nears end of term. Washington, reports of 2 different flags flown outside of Justice Samuel Alito's houses have ignited a political firestorm and reinvigorated a focus on ethics practices at the Supreme Court, as Democrats push legislation that would require the court to adopt a binding code of conduct and call for the justice to recuse himself from cases involving former President Donald Trump and the January 6, 2021, Capitol attack. Next breaking news: American ex-fighter pilot accused of illegally training Chinese aviators can be extradited to U.S. Australian judge says a Sydney judge on Friday ruled that former U.S. Marine Corps pilot Daniel Duggan can be extradited to the United States on allegations that he illegally trained Chinese aviators, leaving the Attorney General as Duggan's last hope of remaining in Australia. Next breaking news: Americans want to protect IVF amid battles over abortion, but Senate at odds over path forward. Washington, Americans appear to be in rare agreement when it comes to IVF, with surveys indicating widespread support for safeguarding access to the fertility treatments. But how Congress could act to secure those protections amid perceived threats in states is another question. And in the Senate, lawmakers appear to be at odds over a path forward. Next breaking news: migrant crossings at U.S.-Mexico border plunge 54% from record highs. Internal figures show El Paso, Texas, illegal crossings along the U.S.-Mexico border in May are down by more than 50% compared to the record highs reported in December, giving the Biden administration an unexpected reprieve during a time when migration has historically surged, according to internal government data obtained by CBS News. Next breaking news: NYC clubhouses for mentally challenged adults face potential funding cuts. Here's what members say is at stake. New York: at the end of June, New York City will stop funding several sites that serve as day centers for seriously mentally ill adults. Clients at Harlem's Rainbow Clubhouse shared the hardships they fear they will face if their clubhouse closes. Next breaking news: for stabbed, including 3 juveniles, during fight on SEPTA bus near King of Prussia Mall. King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, 4 people were stabbed, including 3 juveniles, during a fight on a SEPTA bus near the King of Prussia Mall on Thursday night, Upper Merion Township Police said. Next breaking news: Memorial Day weekend weather in Maryland includes some showers and storms. Baltimore: there will be several opportunities for scattered showers and storms for Memorial Day weekend, but it will not be a complete washout. Next breaking news: Carnival San Francisco 2024 names official king and queen San Francisco. Amid the vibrant festivities of San Francisco's annual Carnival celebration, Yaisen Jimenez and Monica Mendoza have been selected as the official king and queen for 2024. Next breaking news: Supreme Court sides with South Carolina Republicans in redistricting dispute. Washington, the Supreme Court on Thursday maintained the lines of a congressional district in South Carolina that a lower court had invalidated as an unlawful racial gerrymander, delivering a win to Republican mapmakers who said they use politics, not race, as the predominant factor when drawing the district bounds. Next breaking news: NOAA 2024 hurricane season forecast warns of more storms than ever. Here's why. Miami, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has released its 2024 forecast for the Atlantic hurricane season, which officially starts on June 1st. NOAA's report predicts an above-average hurricane season with 17 to 25 named storms, 8 to 13 hurricanes, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes of Category 3 or higher. Next breaking news: second human case of bird flu confirmed amid U.S. dairy cow outbreak. A Michigan farm worker has been diagnosed with bird flu, state health officials announced in a statement Wednesday, marking the second human case associated with the current outbreak in U.S. dairy cows. Next breaking news: Euclid Space Telescope captures dazzling new images of the cosmos. Never seen anything like it. A mind-boggling number of shining galaxies, a purple and orange star nursery, and a spiral galaxy similar to our Milky Way. New images were revealed from Europe's Euclid Space Telescope on Thursday. Next breaking news: a look at the White House state dinner for Kenya's president. In photos, President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden hosted Kenyan President William Ruto and his wife, First Lady Rachel Ruto, for an elaborate state dinner Thursday night. Next breaking news: 5 killed in attack at Acapulco grocery store just days after 10 other bodies found in Mexican resort city. 5 people were killed and another wounded on Thursday in an armed attack in Mexico's Acapulco, a prosecutor's office said, just 3 days after 10 other bodies were found in the resort city plagued by cartel violence. Next breaking news: 2 climbers die on Mount Everest, 3 still missing on world's highest mountain. It is a sad day. A Kenyan and a Nepali climber have died close to Mount Everest summit, tourism officials said Thursday, taking the season's toll on the world's highest mountain to at least 4. 3 mountaineers, including the Kenyan climber's guide, are now missing. Next breaking news: more than 100 people believed killed by a landslide in Papua New Guinea. Melbourne, May 24. More than 100 people are believed to have been killed Friday in a landslide in a remote part of Papua New Guinea, Australian Broadcasting Corp reported. Next breaking news: UK July 4th election, Rishi Sunak puts war and defense at the heart of campaign. Rishi Sunak's election announcement on Wednesday afternoon was such a farce that people could be forgiven for ignoring what he said. Next breaking news: Russia appoints new defense minister amid Ukraine war, a leadership lesson in the offing. Has Vladimir President Putin taken the right strategic step in appointing Andrei Belousov? Next breaking news: Singapore Air changes seatbelt rules after fatal turbulence. Singapore Airlines aircraft flight SQ321 is parked on the tarmac after an emergency landing at Suvarnabhumi International Airport. Next breaking news: 22 passengers suffered spinal cord injuries. 6 had head trauma from turbulence hit SIA flight. 22 passengers from a Singapore Airlines flight that was hit by turbulence May 21 have spinal cord injuries and 6 have brain and skull injuries, according to media reports. Next breaking news: families of Marines who died in an Osprey crash sue Bell Textron, Boeing and Rolls-Royce, makers of the aircraft. The families of 4 Marines who died in a V-22 Osprey crash in California on June 8, 2022, have filed a lawsuit accusing the manufacturers of the twin-rotor military aircraft of negligence. Next breaking news: Oreo maker Mondelez hit with $366 million antitrust fine by EU. The European Union slapped a €337.5 million fine Thursday on Chicago-based Mondelez, the confectioner behind major brands including Oreo and Toblerone, for forcing consumers to pay more by restricting cross-border sales. Next breaking news: Israeli military recovers the bodies of 3 more hostages killed on October 7 from Gaza. Tel Aviv, Israel. The bodies of 3 more hostages who were killed in Hamas' October 7 attacks were recovered from the Gaza Strip, the Israeli military said Friday. As the CIA chief headed to Europe in a bid to revive ceasefire talks, and as the top United Nations court ordered Israel to halt its offensive in Rafah. Next breaking news: Sydney judge says U.S. ex-fighter pilot accused of training Chinese aviators can be extradited to U.S. Sydney. A Sydney judge on Friday ruled that former U.S. Marine Corps pilot Daniel Duggan can be extradited to the United States on allegations that he illegally trained Chinese aviators, leaving the Attorney General as Duggan's last hope of remaining in Australia. Next breaking news: UFC fighter says he'll homeschool son so he doesn't end up turning gay. American mixed martial artist Bryce Mitchell said he will be homeschooling his infant son because he doesn't want him to be gay. Next breaking news: the HPV vaccine prevents head and neck cancers in men. Study suggests the HPV vaccine is linked to a drastic reduction in head and neck cancers in adolescent boys and men, new research finds. Next breaking news: CDC says vaccination could protect the U.S. from more dangerous mpox virus as concerns mount about a large outbreak of an especially virulent form of mpox in Central Africa and an uptick in U.S. cases since early last year. The mpox vaccine appears to give long-term protection, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported Thursday. Next breaking news: NOAA issues highest ever early forecast for the coming hurricane season in the highest hurricane season forecast they have ever released in May. National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration forecasters said Thursday that the coming months may be exceptionally busy. Next breaking news: Norfolk Southern will pay modest $15 million fine as part of federal settlement over Ohio train derailment. The federal government agreed to a modest $15 million fine for Norfolk Southern over last year's disastrous derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, and the railroad promised to pay more than $300 million to complete the efforts to improve safety that it announced after the crash and address community health concerns. Next breaking news: tornado causes havoc in Texas as record-breaking heat wave looms. A tornado ripped through central Texas on Wednesday evening, causing huge damage and destroying homes, as forecasters warn of a potentially record-breaking heat wave in the state. Next breaking news: Republicans demand Secret Service chief personally take action to move protests farther from the convention. The Republican National Committee is demanding that Secret Service Director Kim Cheadle personally get involved to move a planned protest zone farther away from the site of the party's convention in Milwaukee this summer, according to a letter obtained by NBC News. Next breaking news: Arizona Latinos weigh disappointment with Trump and Biden, especially on the border. Polling shows that Latino voters broadly say that former President Donald Trump would do a better job securing the border than President Joe Biden. And a new focus group of Latino voters in Arizona who are frustrated with both major party nominees illustrated why the border has become such a political mess for Biden. Next breaking news: Palm Beach housekeepers are making $150,000 a year due to massive demand from the wealthy. A version of this article first appeared in CNBC's Inside Wealth newsletter with Robert Frank, a weekly guide to the high net worth investor and consumer. Sign up to receive future editions straight to your inbox. Next breaking news: a Tesla owner says his car's self-driving technology failed to detect a moving train ahead of a crash caught on camera. A Tesla vehicle in full self-driving mode appeared to fail to detect a moving train and stop on its own, leading to a chaotic accident depicted in a video that has been viewed millions of times on social media. Next breaking news: Chad's Deby sworn in as president as Alamé Helena named new PM. Chad's newly elected president, Mahamat Idris Deby, has been sworn in to succeed his late father after 3 years as an interim leader under military rule in the North Central African country. Next breaking news: apartment block fire in Vietnam's Hanoi kills 14. State media says a fire at an apartment block in Vietnam's capital Hanoi has killed at least 14 people and injured 3 others, state media has reported. Next breaking news: U.S. restricts visas for Georgia over foreign agent bill. The United States will impose visa restrictions and review relations with Georgia over a controversial foreign agent bill that has sparked mass protests in the country. Next breaking news: Israel's war on Gaza. Live news: ICJ orders Israel to halt Rafah offensive. The UN's top court orders Israel to immediately halt its military assault on the southern Gaza city of Rafah, calls humanitarian situation disastrous. Next breaking news: USA earned shock series win over Bangladesh ahead of T20 World Cup. The United States have defeated Bangladesh by 6 runs to win their second 2020 international and claim a shock victory in the 3-match series in Houston, Texas. Next breaking news: patients in Gaza's Al-Aqsa hospital at risk of death amid fuel shortages. Severe fuel shortages have caused power outages at Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in central Gaza, with hospital officials warning that many sick and wounded patients face certain death if supplies needed to run medical equipment and generators are not replenished. Next breaking news: U.S. pressure could derail ICC arrest warrants for Israeli leaders. When Israel started relentlessly bombing Gaza, Rasha Abu Shaban packed a handful of belongings and fled south with her parents and siblings. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for getting latest update of United States, trending news and top stories about you.